Grandmommy's house. We are cooking today. Remember, at Grandmommy's house, food is all about love and everybody's welcome. So Mother's Day is coming up this week, and I'm going to show you how to do eggs first of all, and then I'm going to show you a cool egg croissant that you could make. You can even make it ahead of time in case you want to surprise your mom on Mother's Day and take her breakfast in bed. So we're going to start out making an over easy egg first, and then I will show you how to scramble the eggs and put them on the croissants. We're going to add some ham and cheese to a couple. You can make them plain. My grandkids like them in all different ways, but they love to eat them. So while I'm waiting for my pan to warm up, take a good bread knife. Here are the croissants. And listen, you pick these up at Kroger. There's a dozen in a box, and they're $2.99. So take a nice bread knife or a knife with a serrated edge on it so that it will slice easily and not smash everything up. Make sure to move your hand around when you're using that knife so you don't keep going through the bread and cut yourself. So go halfway and then turn it over. These are pretty nice and light. So I've got those cut open and ready when we start doing the scrambled eggs. I'm going to put some butter in my pan. Always use a non-stick pan. A cast iron pan is considered non-stick because it's so well seasoned. So I'm going to melt some butter in here. And as soon as that's ready to go, I have my pan on medium. And we're going to cook an egg that's over easy. All right. So the pan has been on medium, it is warm, and the butter is just starting to get a little bubbly. So I'm going to crack this egg into the pan. It should sizzle. That's how you know your pan is at the right temperature. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of salt on here. So when you're making an over easy egg, the scary part is how to flip this thing. So you want to be patient. Anytime you're making eggs, be patient. So the white is cooking, and I'm going to let it have a couple minutes here, a couple seconds to cook well, so that when I turn it over, it's going to have plenty of egg underneath. I'm not going to bust anything open, and I won't have to cook it long on the other side. So tip your pan up, slide it under your spatula, just give it a little flip. Hear it sizzling still. And for over easy, we're done. So loosen it up on your pan, slide it out onto your plate, and you have a beautiful over easy egg. If you like it medium, just leave it in the pan a little bit longer. All right, now before we start scrambling the eggs, I'm going to open my croissants, take the tops off, and I'm going to put cheese on all four, and I'm going to put ham on 2 of them. You could use bacon, any kind of breakfast or kind of meat that you like, add it in there. So these are ready, and now we're going to scramble some eggs. Put some more butter in the pan. As you know, butter makes everything taste better, right? So the butter's in the pan. I'm going to give that just a second to melt. And again, just like with the over easy egg, with scrambled eggs, be patient. If you just start whipping the scrambled eggs around too soon, they're going to get tough. But you want them to be soft and tender. So the butter is melted. I'm going to scramble 2 at a time so I can shape them up to fit on my croissants just right. The eggs are in. Put a little salt. Just separating them out so they'll be in 2 different places. Now I'm going to let them cook for just a minute. You don't want to start scrambling yet. We want our eggs to be moist, and we want them to be nice and tender. Alright, so the bottom of the egg white is pretty well cooked, so now I'm going to break open the yolk and just stir the egg a little, but not too much. Just give it a little stir. And now this one. And I'm sort of pushing it around to make it in a shape that would fit well on this croissant that I have ready for it. Let that bottom cook a little more. And then take the spatula, flip that over. Now, if we weren't making croissants, at this point you could scramble it around in the pan and sprinkle in cheese, bacon, chunks of ham. There's so many things you can put in your eggs, tomatoes. Alright, so these are ready. So this one is coming out and it goes right on top of the ham and cheese. And now what I'm going to do, in case we're not ready to eat these right now, we're going to put the tops on and we're going to wrap these up in a little piece of foil. This also helps you to soften up a little with all those warm eggs in there. But you could also stick them in the fridge at this point and warm it up for Mom in the morning in case you're going to do that early morning breakfast in bed. Alright, so let's scramble 2 more eggs and we'll have our croissants all finished. I do a little grandmommy camp with my grandkids in the summer, and we rent a little cabin out at Harbor Town, and this is one of their favorite breakfasts, but I can make them up ahead of time and then we warm them up there at the campground and they have a good breakfast. Alright, 2 more eggs. The butter is sizzling. And if you don't need 12 croissants, even though there's a dozen in the box, put them in a Ziploc and freeze them until you need to make some more egg croissants or sandwiches or have one for breakfast. They're pretty good. Separate them out into two areas. If I were just making a plate of scrambled eggs, I wouldn't care about separating them. I just scramble them together. But this just makes it a little easier when you put it onto the croissant sandwich. Because remember, cooking is about taking care of your family, taking care of your children. It's a very loving thing to cook and take care of your family. And food is a great unifier. Everybody loves food. And so when you are the one who can feed them and prepare food, it's a really good thing. It's a loving thing to do. And people like to get together around food. Sometimes just getting together might not work, but if you tell them you're going to feed them, they'll show up. So these have cooked pretty well on the bottom. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my heat because this pan is warm enough to finish. So don't cook them for too long and don't over stir them. That will give you good tender eggs, whether you're going over easy or scrambled. And always use butter. Alright, now we have 2 with ham and cheese and eggs and 2 with just eggs and cheese. I'm going to wrap these up so they're ready to go. So there we are, 4 croissant sandwiches ready for Mother's Day. I hope you enjoy yours. Moms, grandmas, all you special women out there, I pray that God will richly bless you in every way on Mother's Day and every day of the year. He knows you, He sees you, He loves you. Thanks for joining us at Cooking for Grandmommy today. We'll see you next time.